What if I told you that something you ate this morning might still be rotting inside your teeth right now? Not in your stomach, not in your gut, but right here, in your mouth. And the scary part? Most people brushing their teeth tonight have no idea it's happening. Because pork, yes, pork, does something to your teeth that dentists rarely explain clearly. Something slow, something silent, something that could be damaging your teeth every single day without pain, without warning, until it's too late. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. It doesn't affect everyone the same way. So why do some people eat pork every day and seem fine, while others develop gum disease, bad breath, and tooth decay? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll look at your next bite of pork very differently. Let's start with the moment you take that first bite. Hot, juicy, flavorful. It feels harmless, right? But the moment pork touches your mouth, something invisible begins. Your saliva rushes in, your teeth grind, and tiny fibers of pork begin to break apart and get stuck in places you can't even see. Between your teeth, under your gums, in microscopic grooves. And here's the problem. Pork is not like soft foods. It's fibrous, it's chewy, and it loves to hide. But wait, why does that matter? Food gets stuck in your teeth all the time, right? Yes, but pork behaves differently. And what happens next is where the real danger begins. Before I continue, quick question. Have you ever eaten meat and hours later, you still feel something stuck in your teeth? Be honest, that's not just annoying. That's your first warning sign. And most people ignore it. Now let's zoom in, closer than your eyes can see, because once pork fibers get trapped, bacteria move in. Fast, within minutes. These bacteria feed on leftover food particles, including pork. And as they feed, they release acid. Not a little, enough to slowly weaken your enamel. And here's the shocking part. You won't feel it. No pain, no signal, just silent damage. But it gets worse, because pork, especially processed pork, contains compounds that bacteria love. Salt, proteins, sometimes sugars from marinades. This creates the perfect environment for bacterial growth. It's like you've just fed an army inside your mouth, and they're not there to help you. But the real problem isn't just the bacteria. It's what they build next. And this is where things start getting dangerous. As bacteria feed, they don't just disappear. They multiply. And they form something sticky, something almost invisible. Plaque. Now here's what most people don't realize. Plaque isn't just dirt on your teeth. It's a living, breathing biofilm, packed with bacteria, clinging tightly to your enamel. And pork residue? It makes plaque thicker, stickier, harder to remove, especially if you don't floss. Now imagine this. You eat pork for lunch. You brush at night, but skip flossing. That tiny piece stuck between your molars? It stays there, feeding bacteria for hours, even days. And during that time, your teeth are under attack. But here's the twist. Plaque doesn't stay soft forever. This is where most people lose their teeth over time, and they don't even realize it started here. If plaque isn't removed, it hardens into tartar. And tartar? You can't brush it away. Not at home. Now here's where pork plays a sneaky role again. Because diets high in meat, especially pork, can change the chemistry of your saliva, making tartar build faster, stronger, more stubborn. And once tartar forms, it becomes a shield for bacteria, protecting them, helping them grow deeper, closer to your gums. And this is where things shift from cosmetic to serious health damage. Because now, your gums are next. At first, you might notice something small. Your gums bleed when you brush. You ignore it. Most people do. But that bleeding? That's inflammation. Your body fighting infection. And guess what's fueling it? Bacteria feeding on trapped pork particles. Now the gums start to swell. They become tender, red, sensitive. This is gingivitis. And here's the scary part. It's reversible. But most people don't act here. They wait until it becomes something worse. Let me ask you something. If your gums bleed today, would you take it seriously or just brush harder tomorrow? That decision changes everything. If the infection continues, it moves deeper, below the gum line, into the bone. This is periodontitis. Now your teeth are no longer just dirty, they're losing support. The bone that holds them starts breaking down, slowly, silently. And here's the disturbing part. You can still eat normally, still smile, still feel okay. Until one day, a tooth feels loose. And that's when people panic. But by then, the damage is already done. But wait, there's something else pork does that most people never talk about. And it might surprise you. Certain pork dishes, especially processed ones, are acidic or become acidic during digestion in your mouth. Now, combine that with bacteria acids, and you've got a double attack on your enamel. Think of it like this. Your tooth enamel is like armor, strong, but not indestructible. Acid slowly dissolves it, bit by bit. And once enamel is gone, it does not grow back. Ever. That's when sensitivity begins. Cold drinks hurt, sweet foods sting, and your teeth start to look dull, even darker. Ever wondered why some people's teeth look yellow, even though they brush every day? This could be why. Now let's talk about something people notice immediately. Bad breath. Because pork particles trapped in your mouth don't just sit there, they rot. Yes, rot. And as they break down, they release sulfur compounds. That smell? It's not just food smell, it's bacterial waste. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You can brush your teeth, use mouthwash, chew gum, but if the source is still trapped, the smell comes back. Again and again. But what about people who eat pork daily and seem perfectly fine? Are they just lucky? Or is something else happening? This is where it gets interesting. Not everyone reacts the same way. Some people have stronger saliva flow, better oral hygiene habits, healthier bacteria balance, so their mouths clean themselves faster. But here's the catch. Even they are not immune. Because damage from plaque and bacteria is cumulative. It builds over time. So while they may look fine now, the effects can show up later. Suddenly. Unexpectedly. Think about someone you know who suddenly had dental problems out of nowhere. It rarely comes out of nowhere. It builds quietly. Now let's go deeper. Processed pork, bacon, sausages, ham. These aren't just meat. They're chemically altered, often loaded with preservatives, salt, and sometimes sugar. And these combinations, they accelerate bacterial growth, increase acidity, and worsen plaque formation. So if you eat these regularly, your teeth are under even more pressure. But here's the real question. Is pork itself the problem, or is it how you eat it? Pork isn't the enemy. Neglect is. Because the damage doesn't come from eating pork once. It comes from what happens after. Do you rinse your mouth? Do you floss? Do you brush properly? Or do you just move on and let the bacteria take over? Because here's the reality. Your mouth is an ecosystem, and every meal feeds something. The question is, what are you feeding? Right now, there are millions of bacteria in your mouth. The next thing you eat decides which ones grow stronger. So what can you do? Simple, but powerful. After eating pork, rinse your mouth with water immediately. Don't wait hours to brush. Floss. This is non-negotiable. And avoid sleeping without cleaning your teeth, because overnight, bacteria multiply faster. And if pork particles are still there, that's 6 to 8 hours of uninterrupted damage. But there's one mistake almost everyone makes at night that makes everything worse. You eat dinner. You're tired. You say, "I'll brush later." Later becomes sleep, and your mouth becomes a battlefield. Low saliva, high bacteria activity, food trapped. This is when the most damage happens, not during the day, at night, in silence. Think about this. Would you leave food on your plate overnight and eat it in the morning? Then why leave it in your mouth? Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't lose teeth because of pork. You lose teeth because of what you ignore after eating it. The bleeding, the smell, the discomfort. The signs are always there. People just don't act early enough. So next time you eat pork, enjoy it. But remember what's happening after the last bite, because your teeth don't forget, even when you do. If this made you think differently, hit like and subscribe, because the next thing you eat might be affecting your body in ways you've never imagined. And trust me, you'll want to know.